Alrighty.
How we doing, people?
How are we doing?
How we feeling? How we feeling? How we doing?
Let us know who are hanging out with in the chat. Do us a favor, go ahead and like the video as the stream starts.
You do that.
I'm just quickly catching up on news that's happened today.
Yeah.
No Bill Belichick to Atlanta, by the way. I mean, I thought that was almost a lock for some reason in my head.
I don't understand why, and I think it was surprising on who it was that actually got the job.
He's got connections to the franchise, so it makes sense. But
he
Bill
does.
would be a lock.
I just think that there are so many heavy hitter head coaches out there that that one of those guys would have went to that team. I think this is the favorite team in the offseason right now to beat. You have the talent. You are in a pretty quote unquote easy division. Well, it's appealing.
Yeah,
it's appealing.
I know. I definitely expected Bill Belichick for some reason to just be the answer. I mean, they had 2 interviews there. He felt like the perfect fit. Their defense was kind of catching fire last year. I mean, if anything, you can say defensively, they definitely found their stride. They may not be using all their offensive weapons exactly the way we would at this point, but yeah, I'm a little bit surprised by it. But to be fair, I feel like Raheem Morris overperformed with what we expected out of that Rams defense last year. So got to give respect to him. But
yeah, it's going to be really should be exciting. It's going to be exciting to see who's the offensive coordinator that he's going to bring in.
Exactly, because right now it tells us nothing about how these weapons will be used.
Yeah, I feel like it might be like a somebody like an up and coming offensive coordinator that he wants to give an opportunity to. I'm not necessarily sure who's available out there. Maybe Arthur can come back.
God, I hope not. All right, guys, the whole point of the stream, thanks for joining us. Do us a favor again, go ahead and like the video to show some love. But the whole point of today's stream is to review some Dynasty teams from people who are supporting this channel. We're going to break down rosters, give some advice, maybe a little reality check as far as like where you are within your league, and if you're a rebuilder, if you need to do a 1-year punt or tear it down or go all in and compete. We're going to be helping people again who support us with their Dynasty rosters today. Now, if you want your team reviewed, it's very, very simple. All you need to do is sign up with our promo code LAND to the Mother Flocker tier on the Flock Fantasy website. You can see, obviously, this is what the website looks like. Again, use our promo code LAND. You get 30% off. Become a Mother Flocker member. Not only will you get a Dynasty team review, I just released an article, so all of our articles you'll have up there. Also, our 2024 rookie report is up and out. V2 is coming very soon. We're putting some of the finishing touches on V2 as we speak. And so anyway, yeah, you also get a Dynasty team review when you're a Mother Flocker member. We might do a Q&A at the end. Let's set a like goal. Let's say 70 likes is our like goal on today's stream. If we hit 70 likes, we'll do a Q&A at the end. I just wanted to answer Jimmy real quick because Jimmy said, all right, how do I get my team reviewed? I used the code and signed up for the Mother Flocker. All right, so if you used our promo code LAND and you became a Mother Flocker, keep in mind that there is an option for you to pay straight away instead of wait for your 7-day trial to finish. Whenever that 7-day trial is finished, you unlock the roster review. You gotta be a member, not just on a free trial. So there is an option for you to pay instantly and to get that roster review unlocked straight away. But once you've done that, all you need to do is connect your Discord in the account page. I'll show you here. So I'm not gonna show you my account, but if you go here and you click account, there's an option to connect your Discord. Once you've done that, you should be able to see all of our premium channels in the Discord, in the Flock Fantasy Discord. So you guys will see under Mason's Flock, you'll see our name, Fantasyland, and then all the way down, you will see roster submissions tab. Again, everyone gets one of their team reviewed. And Ryan says he just did it today, which is awesome. And Shimmy, this is a great question to answer. He says, if you get a roster review last year, can you get another one this year? Absolutely, yes. All you need to do is just wait for your membership to renew. So let's say last year you got a yearly membership and you got it in, February, or you got it in March. Just wait for that to renew, and then instantly you'll get a new team review as well. So yeah, not to fret at all. But yes, thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate y'all. The first person's team that we are looking at today is Fontenot. Probably saying that wrong. But big shout out to you, Fontenot. We're going to get through as many teams as we can today. We'll see where we end up. But we do greatly appreciate your support. I mean, genuinely, when you guys sign up to a yearly membership, you have no idea the type of support you're giving us here. So we appreciate you so much. And we know that it's the best package we've ever been able to offer someone. Sleepnot or Fortnite. Thank you for the support, man. We appreciate you. He says the team name is The Average Joes. It's an 8 team. Okay, that's very important to know. 8 team SuperFlex PPR tight end premium. Looking for advice on how to approach the upcoming draft with all the current picks I have. 8 team is going to be really, really interesting. So he's got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's a start 10 league.
Yeah, with 3 wide receivers and 2 flex, it looks like.
Yeah, you can start 5 wide receivers at a time. But let's go ahead and look at his team. I'm going to go ahead and imagine that in an 8-man league, everyone's going to have very, very good teams. But let's have a look. According to the power rankings on Keep Trade Cut, you are the 2nd ranked team here. And it's a super flex league. And I'm very surprised that they have you 2nd ranked because of these quarterbacks. But yeah, the rest of your team is pretty stacked. That's why.
I think he's 2nd ranked because of the draft picks.
The draft picks, yeah, you're right.
That's what I would assume here. But yeah, the quarterback room, I think, is your weakest room just looking at it from the beginning, from what it looks like. I still believe in Bryce Young. As you see that we did a 2023-2024 video, and I kind of talked him up a little bit. Hopefully you get a new head coach, which, if I'm not mistaken, he did get one. I forgot who it was. Forgot the name. He just get a new head coach. Let's see who they're going to bring in here for the offensive coordinator. I still believe in Bryce Young here, but what's really good about your quarterback room is your draft picks. You can reset your quarterback room instantly with the 101 and the 102 going into this draft. And Will Levis feels like it's over for him. And Kenny Pickett feels like it's over for him. And Will Levis could be some upside there with a new head coach coming in from the Bengals.
Yeah. So obviously the good news about your roster is that you have a lot of unproven quarterbacks, but 2 of them aren't dead. I would say Kenny's probably dead, but 2 of them aren't. Like Will, the verdict is still out. You know, I'm releasing a video on him soon. I might not be the biggest fan, but the verdict is still out. On Bryce Young, same thing. You know, a lot of people are going to tell you he's a bust, that there's no way he can succeed in the NFL now after what we've seen, but that just fails to acknowledge any sort of context with the Carolina Panthers franchise, team, offense, offensive line, receiving weapons. It just fails to recognize any sort of context. So the good news is you have 2 talented players who haven't figured it out. So you keep those guys. We do not sell Bryce Young. We do not sell Will Levis on this team in particular because of we don't have many quarterbacks. But I'm looking at the draft picks. We've already got some answers. We're going to grab Caleb Williams. And honestly, I don't know about you, Badaki, but I would be willing to grab Caleb, Marvin, and then whoever falls to me at the 104.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say, because you get your elite wide receiver, your elite quarterback, and then whoever you're happy with, whether that's Drake May or Jaden Daniels, that decision is going to be made for you there at the 104. So you still reset your quarterback room and you get an elite wide receiver, which adds just even more depth to the start. What was it? Start 7 or start 6?
10. Start 10.
No, at the wide receiver position. No,
you can start 5 at a time, but start 3. And you have.
By the way, if you guys don't know, we like to start wide receivers at the flex position. So when you hear us saying that, it's because we're envisioning us starting a wide receiver in those 2 flex positions or whatever other flex positions
in PPR formats. You kind of want those guys with the reception upside. But if it was half PPR, you know, we'd probably be more comfortable with running backs there. But he said full PPR, yeah. And the good thing is we have Daniel in the chat with us. So as we're going through, feel free, Daniel, to comment. But yeah, so as far as the quarterbacks go, I'm not going to sit here and say that you're going to have it sorted straight away. But what I did realize, Badaki, after you and I released a video this morning, their time, 2023 versus the 2024 class, we drafted those 2 classes together. And what I realized is that I believe that you and I have more conviction on this 2024 class than the rest of the community as a whole. I was a little bit surprised by how many people, you know, I'm not going to say people said that we were wrong or like pushback, because everyone's entitled to like, you know, their own opinion. No one's 100% right or wrong. But I was just surprised by how many people I felt like didn't value the 24 class the way that we did. So the good news is you have very good pieces and you're about to add some very promising prospects. So I'm not going to say that it will be 100% sorted out, but you have the formula to fix the issues on your team. So when we start, ideally we're about to have Caleb Williams, Drake May or Jaden Daniels, Marvin Harrison Jr., Jamar Chase, Chris Olave, Michael Pittman, T. Higgins. At the running back spot, James Cook, Javonte Williams, and we've got the tight end 1 as well as TJ Hawkinson in a tight end premium format. I mean, you're absolutely killing it. You really are. To be honest, Badaki, I'm super comfortable with keeping the 101, the 102, and the 104. And again, like we said, Caleb, Marvin, May, or Daniels, right? However, with these other picks, because of this format, because it is an 8-team league, I would be super willing to package the 107, to package the 202. Because remember, the 202 is actually going to be in a 12-man format. Wouldn't that be like the 111? Or something around there, right?
Yeah, exactly. 8, 9, 10. The 10
so,
and 110.
I personally would be willing to package the 202, the 107, or even like a player here and upgrade to a, you know, some sort of superstar.
Yeah, and
we don't need to do that at tight end. But we could do that at wide receiver, honestly. Like, I'm not saying you need to sell T. Higgins, but what could I package T. Higgins in the 107 for in this sort of format? Again, I'm not actively trying to trade T. Higgins away. I'm considering this format. I'm considering the fact that these heavy hitters are going to make a huge impact in an 8-man league. Can I package the 107 and T. Higgins? And it depends on how your league views T. Higgins. Because we just released a ranking video last week, and there were a couple people who said T. Higgins was a top 12 wide receiver in Dynasty, right? And you know, I wouldn't say that, but there are some people out there who would. Can you package him and get a Puka Nacua? Is there someone in your league who isn't as in on Puka Nacua as the rest of us? Like, is that possible? Do you need to add the 202? Fine, go get that done. Instead of Puka Nacua, can you potentially somehow manage to get an Amon-Ra St. Brown? I mean, can you package Chris Olave and the 107 and the 202 and go get a Lamb, you know, or an Amon-Ra? You know, these are the kind of moves I'm personally looking at trying to get done, considering the format, considering those heavy hitters play such a big part. The depth doesn't matter as much. Obviously, you want to have solid starters across the board, but that's the kind of move I would consider. I would also say, can we get a Bijan or a Gibbs in this league? Because that would be awesome. I feel like that could absolutely change your entire... And those are two guys I'm not worried about. Like, okay, what happens in free agency? What happens in the draft? Not worried about their status going into the 2024 class. Can I package the 107, the 202, and Javonte Williams or James Cook and get one of those names? You know, is that overkill? I'm not sure. You have to consider what those top names are worth compared to, you know, a 12-man versus a
I would agree here, and I would only go, Daniel. I mean, maybe you can go off of Zach or myself on myself's rankings. I would really only go for like the top 8 sort of wide receivers to package with T and that 107. Anything outside of that, I'm not willing to do. I think it may be intriguing.
I agree. You have to get like an elite guy. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it may be intriguing to go get a younger wide receiver potentially that you really believe in, but I think you might be better off holding.
In a 12-man, we might be down to like add some high upside players who haven't proven themselves. In 12-man, we'd be saying like, can you get Drake London for the 107, right? don't care right now.
Exactly.
And this 8-man get heavy hitters across the board. Daniel says was trying to package the 107 and another piece for the 105 or Higgins for it straight up. Envisioned Caleb, Marvin, May, Daniels, and Neighbors on the team. I don't mind that. I also feel like you have enough picks where it's like we can spend some of these picks on real players that are in the NFL today. You know, you're already going to have a good portion of this class. Let's go ahead and get players that we know are stars in the NFL today. Let's kind of spread our investment across across a couple of different classes, a couple of different ranges, if you will. But, one of those trades I said, the 107 and Javonte for Bijan, I would do that for Gibbs as well. And I wouldn't be selling like James Cook and Javonte, but if I can turn one of those guys into Bijan or Gibbs, I feel really, really good about that. And like I said, using Higgins to go get a Lamb somehow or an Amon-Ra or, probably can't get Justin Jefferson, but some people are low on him right now. So, try it. Try and get Justin Jefferson. Try and turn T. Higgins and all the picks you have outside of those top three, into Justin Jefferson, for example.
Yeah.
And let's should we use one of these picks on a quarterback that's already good in the NFL? I feel really good about the 24 class, but I'm just thinking out loud.
I'm just not necessarily sure. Like, yeah, you potentially can. Like, you see Team 1, Josh Allen, CJ Stroud, Jalen Hurts, Justin Fields. Can you get Josh Allen or CJ? Can you send the 101 and maybe the 107?
Yeah, I would be open to that for sure.
Or maybe the 101 and the 104, and
Yeah.
you have the 102 and what was the picks that you had? You had two. Yeah, so I would say the 101 and the 104, and you keep the 102. You get Marvin Harrison, and then you still get another wide receiver at the 107 if you wanted to. You could do something along those lines, but at the same time, I don't know if I want to force it. I think if I'm in an 8-man league and in a SuperFlex and I have Josh Allen or CJ Stroud, I want so much. Like, even if you think about the lines of Dak Prescott to you think of the Trevor Lawrence, I feel like those are going to be a lot. Maybe you can see how somebody feels about a Jordan Love if you really believe in Jordan Love.
Well, one name I was going to point out just to jump in is Justin Herbert. I feel like Justin Herbert's getting so much disrespect in the Dynasty community this offseason.
I think that's going to change, though. I think that's already changed.
I don't know, maybe, but he's been hovering around quarterback 7 or 8. He's still quarterback 7. He's been hovering around there for a long time. If it's possible to turn like the 104 and the 202 into Herbert, I'm not saying it is. Do that in a heartbeat and just take Justin Herbert. And then instead of the 104 being a quarterback, you're going Caleb, Marv, and then Herbert. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just saying, like, there are a lot of avenues that you can go in an 8-man. But at the end of the day, we want to get superstars across the board. We want our team to be chock-blocked full of superstars. Agreed?
Yeah, completely agree.
Would you be looking at anyone as a sell high on this team?
The only person I think of to try and pivot would probably be a tight end, and that's TJ Hawkinson. It's a tight end premium, I understand, but like, can I sell TJ Hawkinson, who's tight end 2 probably at the moment, in a tight end premium, and get a quarterback that we like, and tear down to a Komet, tear down to a Jake Ferguson or a Luke Musgrave, or maybe even an Evan Ingram. I'm looking at that type of move because.
Sorry to jump. Go ahead. My bad.
No, you have tight end 1 and tight end 2 essentially. Can I pivot outside of that? Still get somebody that is going to produce, maybe averaging 10, 11, 12, 13 points per game, but you can boost that up in a different position, either at the wide receiver or at the quarterback room.
So with it being a tight end premium, Hawkinson's going to carry more value, especially in an 8-man. If you have one of those top 4 or 5 tight ends in Dynasty, he's going to carry a ton of value. I would say Hawkinson, as you know, we talked about Higgins, we talked about Javonte, we talked about some pieces as like these pivot pieces. Hawkinson's a great one as well if we're gonna pivot. You know, look at some of these teams. I mean, like this guy has Kyle Pitts. We love Kyle Pitts, but this is perfect. This guy has Kyle Pitts. How comfortable does he really feel? How comfortable do you really feel with Kyle Pitts right now? I want Kyle Pitts. I'm buying him low, but how comfortable does this manager feel? Is there a way we can get a Breece Hall, a Bijan Robinson, when this owner already has CMC and Jonathan Taylor? I think that's possible. You look at some of these other teams, right? This guy who has Jake Ferguson, you don't really want to try and pivot to any of those running backs on his team. This guy's got Michael Mayer. Saquon is probably not worth in this format, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's probably team A, maybe Evan Ingram, and maybe you can get. Well, he doesn't have the running backs though.
What about Kyren Williams for Hawkinson? I know people are up and down on Kyren, but I think I'd be willing to do that personally.
I think I would. That's a tough one for me.
You might be able to get more in return as well.
Yeah, you could be getting more in return there. I just feel more confident in the. Not saying Kyron's not a big name, but like the Bijans, the Jamirs, if you could. You know, the Jonathan Taylors, that feels a little bit more comfortable.
Sure.
I feel like Kyren is a bit of a risk as anything at the moment could happen.
I think that's very fair.
But yes, yeah, definitely worth exploring. Like if you can get Kyren, I'm trying to figure out what team is he on? Like who?
The last team, or the 7th ranked team has Kelsey. And I know as as a Chiefs fan, a lot of people are unsure of Kelsey and Dynasty right now, so they're potentially a little concerned, but worth trying. You know, definitely worth trying.
Definitely worth trying.
But yeah, I mean, it's in an 8-man league, Joe or Daniel. Sorry, you have to be aware that everyone's team is so good, and the unfortunate part of an 8-man is just that there's at any week. Any team could pop off. So you could have the best team. You could be in the playoffs. It's like, okay, the 8th team in this league is actually just as good as like the 4th team in this league, you know? So it's really tough to separate yourself. And that's why we're encouraging you to just go after big dogs. You want quality over quantity in this sort of format. Now, the good news is the 2024 class, specifically those top 5 picks, we feel are like our absolute gold. So the good news is you can hold on to those, but that's why we're encouraging you with like the 107, the 202, the 208, the 301, the 402. Like I would not be upset if I packaged all those players for one elite asset, or all those picks for one elite asset, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah, completely agree.
Again, I think if things pan out the way we would like them to, you're going to finish the draft, and if you do the Herbert route, it looks different, right? We talked about the Herbert route with the 104, but let's assume you don't do that. You can go Caleb, you can go Marv, you can go May or Daniels. Automatically, your quarterback room is improved. Automatically, your wide receiver room is improved drastically. Now, the good thing is you'll have a ton of flexibility with this roster because of the top-level talent you'll have before the year. If you go that route, do not expect to get a superstar running back with the 107, with the 202, with the 208. You can get contributors, but you're probably not getting a star. So if you go that route, after the NFL draft, you know, come October when preseason football is starting, I think at that point you're going to want to try and package some players and pivot some players into a superstar running back that we know and we feel really, really good about. So keep that in mind as well. But overall, man, you should feel very, very good about this team. I know it's an 8-man. A lot of people have good teams, but you should feel very, very good about the team that you have. Because you think about it, you've got Jamar Chase, which in a 1-quarterback format would be a top 3 asset in Dynasty football. You have Sam Laporta, which is the tight end 1 in everyone's Dynasty rankings in a tight end premium format. You got TJ Hawkinson, which is going to be a great piece to fill out the rest of your roster. You have 2 startable running backs. I would feel really comfortable with this running back room if it was a 12-man league. Now, we have the assets to improve that. We talked about that. We have the assets to improve that. And while the quarterback room, you know, isn't solidified, we're about to get some big dogs in there to potentially fill those shoes for us. I think my favorite route that we discussed was 101 Caleb, 102 Marvin, finessing the 104 and a piece into Justin Herbert. That is my favorite piece. You get a known commodity in Justin Herbert. You add a Caleb. You add a Marvin. That is your ideal best case scenario type of world, in my personal opinion. But I think you have a great team. You're definitely contending. Most teams are in an 8-man. What I will say is, you know, guys like Justin Ross and Kadarius Toney, probably Cam Akers, sorry. They probably don't have much value, if any, in this league. So don't worry about like trying to trade to get your roster under limit. You can drop a lot of guys on there.
Yeah, completely agree. Good team, though. By the way, we appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Definitely use your fantasy hotline if you have any further questions here, Daniel.
Let's give him 30 seconds to ask any questions as well before we move on in the chat. Let's see if he has any questions there. And just while we're waiting, we're about to look at the next team and grade them and give them some advice and some direction. But there's probably a lot of people here watching that want their team reviewed. And if you are one of those people, we want to let you know how you can go about doing so. Very simple. All you need to do is use our promo code LAND and become a Mother Flocker member on the Flock Fantasy website. There is an option for you to hit instant access, because keep in mind, during your 7-day free trial, you don't get a team review. You got to wait until that yearly payment hits in. So there's an option to hit instant access and to unlock the Dynasty team review straight away. But it's quite simple. Use our promo code LAND, become a Mother Flocker member. Once you've accessed that, go ahead and connect your Discord in the account section. You can see up here at the top right. Once you've done that, you will unlock our entire Discord with all the premium channels under the Fantasyland tab, including the roster submission. So keep that in mind if anyone is interested. Daniel says, appreciate it, guys. So sounds like he is feeling good about the team, and you should, Daniel. It's a great team, man. I know 8-mans, they're tough as far as like making your team stand out, but you've got a great team. You should feel good about that moving forward.
Yeah, completely agreed. All right, the next team that we are grading is from
Jgandia2.
Jgandia2. First of all, we appreciate you. He said, finally got the Mother Flocker tier.
Hell yeah. Thank you for
appreciate
the support,
you, man. Love. 12 team, half PPR, 1 quarterback, start 8, no tight end premium, finished 2nd in 2023 and 5th in 2024. So you have been competing for the past couple years. I can see you have a couple trades offer
in 2024. I mean, that hasn't happened yet. So I mean,
maybe he's saying.
Oh,
I guess right. Maybe he said like 2023 he finished, and then 2024 like as in this year, with the playoffs. Maybe.
Let's look at those trade offers after we look at his team, if that's okay.
Yeah, he says thinking I need to try and upgrade tight end in this format. Trading is always hard, as most teams overvalue their assets and treat them like a redraft league most of the time. That feels like every league. To your
advantage, though. You can.
Absolutely.
What I will say is instant thoughts, Badaki, before we even dive into the team in a start 8. Similar to what we just talked about, but to a lesser extent with the 8-man league we were looking at. Heavy hitters win the championships. 100%. They win the championships.
No question.
In the start 8, because I mean, you look at this. You got 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. Obviously, it's SuperFlex. I don't think it is SuperFlex, is it?
No, it's 1 quarterback. It's one quarterback. Start,
okay, 2 flexes.
Yeah, and he just said don't need to look at the offer since the guy backed out. Okay. No worries.
But I think let's go ahead and look at them before we move on, just so we can see what sort of deals are out there. Anyway, right?
Sure.
He said send Waddle, Reed, Rashawn for their 103 and Nico, and I would definitely take the 103 and Nico.
I would take the 103 and Nico, no question.
But let's look at the team, yeah?
Yeah, look. I mean, at the moment, according to Keep Trade Cut, you are ranked number 1, and I can see why.
You're the big dog.
Jalen Hurts,
Sam Howell. God.
I mean, okay, first of all, the quarterback position, fine. Running back, Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs. So you have RB1,
You literally cannot
RB2.
have a better running back room than that. It's not possible.
You have a top 5 quarterback. You have a top 3 running backs. You have the number 1 and number 2. Actually,
three top five wide receivers in my
wide
rankings.
receivers. So you already have the upper echelons of talent on your team. And one of the things that you already said here, by the way, let's just read it out. Jalen Hurts, Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Puka Nacua with Cole Kmet. What's that? That's 8, right? Did I count that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Technically, you can start one more, which is Devonta Smith, Jayden Waddle, along those lines, or you can start Saquon Barkley there if you wanted to. So those are your 8 starters. Wow. It looks like.
Wow.
I agree what you said. You said you need to upgrade tight end at this format. Look,
is it a tight end premium? No tight end premium, but still
not a tight end premium.
That is clearly the weak point. And we also the way he probably got this team, which I don't care because this is a young team and it's dominant. But you have no picks in 2024. Not an option. Not a doctor. But there's no option. There's no option in the 2024 class to wiggle room around that. However, Saquon Barkley, Isaiah Pacheco, Devonta Smith, Jalen Waddle, Jaden Reed, all pieces that we can use to upgrade our tight end position. And I don't know about you, Badaki, I'm trying to get the bell of the ball. I want Sam Laporta.
That's going to be difficult already. I was looking for him. But
we have the assets to do it. Where's Sammy Ballgame?
Team 4.
Team 4. That isn't difficult.
One.
Look at that running back room from my guy. We can make this happen. He's got Kincaid and Laporta and Kelsey. But Aki, this is perfect. What you mean?
I mean,
and we have the pieces to help.
He says people are overvaluing. So look, maybe. But yes, you can sell Saquon, you can sell Pacheco, you can sell James Conner. Like you can literally send all 3 of those guys, Cole Kmet and a first. And I have a feeling somebody is not gonna send someone like a Sam Laporta or Dalton Kincaid. I could be wrong.
Let's try and whip up a trade for him right now. Okay. Let's try and whip up a trade for him. I think running back is the move here. Now, I don't want to sacrifice Bijan or Gibbs, but
I don't think they should be in the trade whatsoever. Personally,
yeah, no, don't trade Gibbs or Bijan. I'll give you Saquon and Isaiah if you want.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's going to cost that, but what if we say, I love Jaden Reed. Can we use? All right, let's try this. I mean, let's try Saquon. And Devonta Smith is an overpay, but let's try and tier down. Let's say Saquon and Devonta Smith. We want Laporta, and that's not the deal alone. Can we get?
Look, he just put in the chat, by the way. He says Laporta managers always overvalues. He wanted more than 2 firsts, Waddle and Pacheco for Laporta, and was denied.
Good Lord.
And this is why I'm saying, I'm not sure if you can get him. So if that's the case,
well, let me just try a trade. And if he says no, it's fine. But let me just try and formulate a trade real quick. So it seems like this is unrealistic then, now that I'm thinking through it. But I mean, what if we just even added Keenan Allen back? There's no way this guy's overvaluing Keenan Allen, right? Would something like that work in your format? He's saying no, though, isn't he? Laporta manager always overvalues. He wanted more than 2 firsts. So you're saying 2 firsts and Waddle and Pacheco. Is that right?
For Laporta, yeah. That was more than what I said. My original trade.
If that's true, then Kincaid and Kelsey are also off the table.
I think you would have to go. I think you would have to go low, not low ball, but someone that's not on the decline but low key. TJ Hawkinson's injured at the moment. You go get TJ Hawkinson. That's beef jerky. Team number 2. He has Trey McBride.
Oh my gosh! Sorry, he said he threw Bijan in a counter. So this guy wanted 2 first-round picks. Jalen Waddle, Isaiah Pacheco, and Bijan Robinson for Sam Laporta in a non-tight end premium format. I'm sorry, but we're not even discussing a trade with the notorious one. Then that's unrealistic.
Yeah.
I think Mark Andrews is the perfect piece, personally.
I think Mark Andrews, Kyle Pitts, T.J. Hawkinson, the guys that are injured that people are saying, oh, he had a bad year, or they don't really like, and this is why I thought Sam Laporta might not be the best because of how amazing he was as a rookie. Look, I think Cole Kmet is somebody you can still keep. top 8 tight end. He's about to get a quarterback.
Yeah, you don't move on from Cole, but you certainly aren't like, yeah, that guy's gonna win me a championship.
Yeah, 100%. So like, those are the names. Kyle Pitts.
Let's look at this team that has Mark Andrews, because he also does not have a good running back room. Again, Saquon Barkley, Isaiah Pacheco. We can pivot around with Devonta Smith. I mean, there's no way that this doesn't even start a conversation, right? This is an overpay. What could
This
we
is the
get
guy
back
he
in
was
return?
originally trying to trade with. It looks like, because this is the guy he has Nico in the 103. So Waddle, Reed, Roscoe for the 103 and Nico.
I mean, again, we can overpay in a format like this because we're only starting 8. We can overpay. It's just we have to be like somewhat realistic. Like, this is probably an overpay. Yeah, because obviously we're getting the other side. But let me ask Jgandia, is this owner realistic? Number 5. Number 5
You gotta find someone that's realistic. And
let's throw out some names in Badaki that we'd be happy. Mark, for sure. A couple other names that came to mind to me is George Kittle. Even though he's older, I would be super comfortable adding Kittle to this team. Let's see. I mean, Jake's a fine ad. I'm not sure if Caleb Williams joins the Bears if it's a huge upgrade, though. And that's in your favor as well. Like, time is in your favor if Caleb ends up joining that team.
Yeah.
How about Trey? Can we get Trey McBride?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. It seems like everyone here is valuing it like a redraft league, which means that these guys are recency bias type of players. You think of these guys that are high, crazy opportunity, not production at the end of the season. That's a Trey McBride. That's the Sam Laportas. The Dalton Kincaids that was getting a little bit more. I bet you someone is valuing Isaiah Likely really high because Mark Andrews was injured. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, he says that the owner who has Mark is kind of realistic. He says that the owner wants to rebuild. McBride owner said he's not available, but said Hawk is available for a first-round value. Okay,
well, that's a good start. Well, Jalen Waddle's a first-round value.
No, let's try and send him
a running back. You want the running backs.
Let's send him Saquon and Reed or something. How about that? That should be doable, honestly. Saquon and Reed, that's more than a first-round value. You're not getting Saquon and Reed for a first-round pick anymore. I mean, you can start lower than this, but obviously you're telling us that your league way overvalues, but we're also trying to take into consideration that it's only a start 8. So it's okay to overpay at some point.
And what you should do? Maybe I'm being greedy. That's what? Here's Saquon and Reed, and give me TJ Hawkinson and Kendre Miller.
I like that. I actually love that.
Somebody that's a little bit high upside going into next year. We both of us believe that maybe Alvin Kamara is no longer going to be with this team. Potentially, Kendre Miller should be getting a lot of opportunity going into 2024.
But even if not, you don't need Kendre Miller.
Exactly.
If he wants Pacheco instead of Saquon, do it.
Even if it's someone small, Demario Douglas that could have high upside. What if the Giants get a better quarterback? What if Jane Daniels goes to the Giants, Jalen Hyatt? I'm not saying you should, just thinking of these little opportunities. Kendre Miller, opportunity coming his way. It feels like same thing with Demario Douglas with the new quarterback, or potentially with Jalen Hyatt with
if he wants like a wide receiver, try Devonta Smith straight up. Devonta Smith is definitely worth a first-round pick if that's what he's wanting, first-round value. Try Devonta Smith straight up. See if that starts off, because you can afford to lose a wide receiver or running back on your side here. Like you've got so much depth, and the format allows us to overpay. Yeah, I mean, in most people's rankings, I think Devonta Smith would be valued more than TJ Hawkinson alone. So I mean, that's a conversation that you can start. In summation,
and you still have Cole Kmet, by the way. Sorry, before you do that, because TJ Hawkinson's injured. He tore his ACL really late in the season. He won't be back week 1, and that's your selling point, bro. You have Trey McBride, David Njoku. You're not going to start TJ Hawkinson, and then you kind of get him on your team. And then when he pops off in the second half of the season, where we hope he gets a new quarterback, JJ McCarthy, Bro Nix, Russell Wilson, whatever the case may be, boom, TJ Hawkinson, Kirk Cousins may be back.
Yeah.
Best case scenario.
If Kirk Cousins is back, you're not getting him for a first-round pick. Like, it's going to cost more to get TJ. So I like it. What I will say is we should firstly say congratulations on building one hell of a squad. In a 12-man league, I know it's one quarterback, I know it's start 8, but I don't know how much better you could have done to this point. Top 5 quarterback, you have my RB1 and RB2 in Dynasty, as well as 2 other guys that you could start in most 12-man formats anyway. You've got 3 of my top 5 wide receivers. You got Smith, Waddle, Reed, who are just options for you. Again, that tight end spot's the only one that we need to really improve. I also, a different route you could go here is what would the 106 or 7 cost? Would the 106 or 107 be cheaper than Hawkinson? Would it be cheaper than Laporta, Mark Andrews? If that's the case, try and grab that and go get Brock Bowers, So you have a lot of wiggle room, and while you don't have draft capital, you have a star-studded roster that you can make a ton of moves with. I mean, there are 12-man leagues in SuperFlex formats. Now, our starting lineup might be a little deeper, but there are 12-man leagues where I got James Conner as my RB2, and I'm feeling like super happy about it. And this guy isn't even like a thought on this team. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I agree. So once again, perfect team. Jgandia, we appreciate you. Once again, use your fantasy hotline. When you do send out these trades and they send you a counter, send it through to us. Maybe we'll have a little bit of conversation. We'll try to steer you in the right direction. Take advantage of that fantasy hotline. But yeah, once again, great team, phenomenal. It's unfortunate that you didn't get the ship because I see where you probably would have lost. Justin Jefferson got injured. Same thing with Jamar Chase. He was injured.
Lost Burrow.
You lost Burrow, exactly. Devonta Smith was up and down. Jameer Gibbs didn't have a good playoff week as well. Same thing with Waddle. Like, you see all these injuries. I see it, how you would have lost, which is unfortunate. And if they stay healthy, this is easily a championship, maybe even back-to-back like he almost did the past 2 years. So good luck, brother.
Yeah, don't lose hope. You got a lot of great options. And by the way, I just said the 106, but I'm realizing this is one quarterback. That's just my SuperFlex brain churning. So if we were going to get Brock Bowers, we need more than the 106. It would be...
Look, maybe if...
Let me look at my rankings real quick.
Maybe Ja'Tavion Sanders is that for you this year.
See, I didn't want to say anything yet, but I just finished scouting the tight ends. I don't want to influence your take, Badahi. I was kind of disappointed. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, that's fine. Well, look, maybe
I feel like it's Brock or bust for me in this class.
If he does get the draft capital, hypothetically, keep in mind
104 for Brock.
Yeah, if the Ja'Tavion Sanders does get the draft capital, and he goes to a perfect opportunity, then maybe there's it. But yeah, I haven't done my scouting. Other tight ends that's coming out in V2, by the way, February 1st, in the next couple of days, which is a week from today, actually, for you guys. Is going to be releasing, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So guys, yeah, great team, Jgandia. Thank you so much for the support. Like Badaki said, your fantasy hotline is there, so you can ask us questions. We always reply within 24 hours. Just keep in mind, we are in Sydney, Australia, mate. So we'll always reply as soon as we can, but we appreciate you. Thank you for the support. We're going to look at the next team here, but as always, people are, wondering how their team can get reviewed, how they can have us look at their team on a live stream. Very simple, guys. Very, very simple. All you need to do is use our promo code LAND, sign up to the Flock Fantasy website, and become a Mother Flocker member. Once you do so, there is a option where it says pay instantly, so you get the roster review straight away. Use that option if you want to get your roster review straight away. Otherwise, you just have to wait until the 7-day free trial is over. Either way, link your Discord in the account section, and then you will unlock the premium channels here on the Discord server, including the roster submissions tab. And also do us a favor, go ahead and smash a like button on the stream. Just a little update. Our goal was 70 likes. How are we going? We're halfway there. Halfway there. So do us a favor, smash that like button. Okay, Jeff is the next person's team that we are reviewing. Big shout out to Jeff. My name's Jeff. Sorry, he probably hates that.
No, my name's Jeff. He probably got that for a very long time since Jeff Garcia.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good last name. Anyways, we appreciate you, Jeff. Thank you so much for the support.
I'm gonna guess his team name is Jeff G.
I think it's Jeff G. Yeah, Jeff G.
Guess. But let's look at the context here. He says, "I have got that forever." So yeah, it's like nothing new. It's like be original, guys, for real.
Honestly.
But he says, "Join the Motherflocker in December. Didn't know about this till the last video." That's awesome, man.
Awesome.
Thanks for supporting all this time. He says 8 team, full PPR,
another
2 SuperFlex. That's interesting. Let me look at this. Does he mean? Oh yeah, he does mean. There is 2 SuperFlexes. All right.
Okay. So quarterbacks are very, very high.
2 SuperFlex. It's a half tight end premium. There's a 0.1 running back bonus. Does that mean for receptions? Because some people do like per carry and stuff. Let us know.
Yeah. Yards.
Finished second last year. Would like to hear your thoughts moving forward.
Okay.
All right. So important things to remember. 8 team. Yeah. However, this isn't an 8 team like the one we looked at before. There's a lot of roster. Like the starting lineup is huge, so that's a little different, right? We can start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Terry McLaurin was 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 offensive players. It looks like this is an IDP league, unfortunately, which I know Jeff would know, but we don't really specialize in IDP. But we can absolutely help with the offensive side of it. So what was the number I came up with there?
So it's technically 3 wide receivers you can start. 6 wide receivers and 3 quarterbacks.
It's a start 13 league.
Yeah.
So depth is important.
100%. Once again, 13 start, 6 ability or 6. Abilities to start wide receivers.
You have to start 2 tight ends.
Have to start. Do you have to start 2 tight ends?
You do. You have to start 2 tight ends.
Is that what he said?
I'm looking at the roster right here.
Oh shit. Oh my goodness. And that's a tight end premium. Okay.
All right. Let's begin.
3 quarterbacks, by the way, he can start.
And the good news is
you've
got Anthony Richardson, Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, Jared Goff. And I'll be honest, I think in like a traditional Superflex league, you might say to yourself, like, let's pivot off of Goff and build somewhere else. Let's pivot off of Trevor and build somewhere else. No. Absolutely not.
You keep these guys.
In a 3 quarterback, you can start 3 quarterbacks in this format. These guys are home. This is where they belong. They're already home.
They're already home.
They've already found their home. At running back, we've got Devon Achane, James Cook, Rashawn Johnson, Chase Brown. So obviously a weaker part of our team, but you have still some good starters. How many do you have to start at the running back spot? Just 2. That's fine.
It looks like it's just 2, but then
Cook and Achane, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it's 0.1 per carry.
Okay.
So these aren't the heavy hitters when it comes down to carries, but still, when they do, like when Devon does get the ball, he goes crazy. When James Cook gets, he gets the PPR opportunity. This is full PPR, right?
Yeah, but
full PPR.
I will
that's
say,
what you want.
To be fair, that 0.1 per carry doesn't play a huge factor in my mind, because if you think about it, if I'm doing the math right, 20 carries would give you an extra 2 points. So it wouldn't really play a huge part in the way we're going to, look at players. Obviously, it's nice if you get a guy who's got, a heavy amount of carries. But to be fair, I think the tight end premium plays a bigger part than that premium for the running back. Would you agree?
Yeah. I definitely hear you there. At the wide receiver position, once again, you can start up to 6 wide receivers. Yep. So you're starting 6 at the moment is Amon-Ra, AJ Brown, Jalen Waddle, Terry McLaurin. Those are really the 4 that you can start with confidence. And then it gets really weak. You have 2 positional players or 2 flex positions that feel weak at the moment that maybe we can go out and get either in a draft capital or potentially a trade.
I will say,
Wicks, we like the high upside, by the way. Yeah.
I do like Wicks. I'd hold
100%. Everyone else, I guess you can hold, but not somebody I'm loving. Josh Palmer played a decent part when he was healthy.
Nah, it's just not the future, is he?
Yeah, it's just not the future, exactly.
I
And
would
then the
say,
tight ends are
just
really
quickly,
good.
sorry, on the wide receiver room, I just want to add something here. I think a lot of people are going to be out on Terry McLaurin right now. He is like a strong hold, if not a buy for me, purely because the guy's been putting up 1,000-yard seasons with Ryan Fitzpatrick, rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins, Alex Smith, name a quarterback, Taylor Heineke, Sam Howell. I mean, he's about to get a serious upgrade at quarterback, so he's a stronghold for me. I am interested in pivoting off of Waddle, based off what I've seen in the community. I'm not saying you have to, but people think Waddle is like this untouchable asset right now, and he's just not, in my opinion. Like, I would be willing to tear down from him. We'll talk about that in a second, but sorry, go ahead. I just wanted to wrap up that wide receiver room. You're muted, by the way.
I am muted, and I said no, that's okay. No worries about that. At the tight end position, I think you are fine. You have two must-start tight ends, and you do have your two Sam Laporta, and Mark Andrews, and then Kyle Pitts just in case. You do have Isaiah Likely, which is also really good, and Tucker Kraft. When both of those guys, their number one goes down, these guys have stepped up, so that's really, really intriguing.
Like I said with the quarterbacks, in a league where you can start two, I might look at one of these guys as a trade piece. In a league where you can start one tight end, I might look at one of these guys as a trade piece between Andrews and Laporta. In this format, they're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah, completely.
And even
completely
Kyle Pitts.
agree.
Even Kyle Pitts isn't going anywhere in this format.
Mm-hmm. At the 10, by the way, draft capital he has 102,
Yeah,
107
great.
in the 203. And my instant thought, by the way, with that draft capital, yes, you can get Marvin Harrison Jr. there. Since he's okay at the quarterback position, should he get a haul for that? For somebody that really needs the 102. Look, I'm looking down at team 8.
What teams? Yeah, team 8.
Team 8, only Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't
what
have
draft capital.
He doesn't have a
202,
first.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a first round pick.
The issue is, I'm looking at this team and I'm thinking like, you can't give a package for me for the 102 that I like here.
Oh, okay. What about Team 5? Tua and Baker Mayfield, not the strongest. Doesn't have.
That's doable. That's definitely doable.
Doesn't have any first round picks in 2024. But I see Jefferson, I see Puka, I see Tank, I see Christian McCaffrey there. That's exciting.
Yeah.
I think that's really the only team I can see that may be in your best bet to go out and trade with.
I'd definitely open the door. I would open the door and say, hopefully these are active members, right? But I'd open the door to this team. I'd said, hey, if I was looking to trade the 102, what would you? Who has the 101? That's the better question here, actually. Because if we can get Marvin, I think I just hold. Who has the 101?
101 Team 4, Mike Vick's doggy daycare. You love to see it.
Jeez.
All right, Pete to the doggies. And he's going to get
This guy's probably going to take Marvin.
Marvin, exactly. Okay, yeah. Which, if anything, it's okay. That is actually even more of a reason why maybe you should trade Caleb and sell him even more. Yeah, you're getting the best prospect, the best quarterback in a while. 101 plans to take Harrison. He just said, so look, go to a team, get a haul. I don't know if you can get, I mean, if I'm saying, look, you need a quarterback to Team 5. I know you got 2, you got Baker. I need a haul. I need Justin Jefferson. I need Puka.
I want to even open up an idea into the running back room, because you add a serious threat here. Cook becomes a flexible piece instead of a starter. I'm not saying you have to do it, but Team 6 has Bijan, Brees, Gibbs, right? Pretty much the top 3 running backs in everyone's rankings. But he's got Kyler and Matthew Stafford. I wonder if the 102... I think the 102 personally in this format where you can start 3 quarterbacks is way more valuable than Bijan Robinson. Personally. I think it's way, way more valuable than Bijan Robinson. But could this be the piece? Could Brees or Gibbs or Bijan be the piece around a package that you get in return? Can you send the 102 for Bijan, for Tyreek,
That's what I'm saying.
Rashee Rice, and then in return, you give him back the 102. You give him back, let's say, Waddle and Chase Brown or something, right? So that's an option.
I think when it comes down to starting 6, I'm not sure at the flex position. I know you're kind of, I guess, countering that with Bijan. I'm not sure if I want to pivot off of Waddle, even though
I didn't say Waddle.
As...
I didn't suggest to send Waddle.
I thought I heard Waddle, yes. But I could be wrong.
If I did, I definitely didn't mean to.
So it's okay.
I would not suggest any Waddle. If I did, that's my bad.
Let's start from the top here. So you're saying he should send the 102 and maybe the 107, which it looks like he has here.
I'm saying the 102 is far more valuable than Bijan Robinson in this format. So yes, I'm sending you the 102. I'm getting Bijan and Tyreek. Honestly, probably straight up, I would try that and see what he says.
And that's what I was going to ask you. Like, is it Bijan and Tyreek enough for you in this format with a 3 quarterback? Yeah. Okay, that's what I was hoping that you would say, because I would rather get the two guys than doing like a 1-for-1. I thought maybe that's where you were going.
Yeah, there is a 1-for-1 that's equal value of the 102 on that team, I don't think, in this format specifically. Again, guys, being able to start 3 quarterbacks. Even in SuperFlex leagues, the 102 is more valuable than Bijan right now.
Yeah, I would say the same thing could be done with Team 5, who has Tua and Baker. Can you get a Christian McCaffrey, Justin Jefferson, Christian McCaffrey, Puka Nacua, along those lines? Or can you just get the two wide receivers in Justin Jefferson and Puka Nacua? I doubt he would want to lose both of them. But that is definitely an option because he has no draft capital in the first round or maybe even the second round in this draft.
You could send back like a Wicks or a Shaheed or a Rashawn or something to make that deal work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree there.
I like that idea, but I was also just going to say, like, you're in a great position because we're saying all these ideas. Don't think like these are the ideas I have to get done. Because if these aren't able to get done or people in your league are telling you that you're overvaluing the pick, great. Let time do its work. Take Caleb Williams at the 102. And then these dudes who got freaking bum-ass quarterbacks, week 3 are going to be like, okay, so about Caleb Williams. I mean, should we talk? At that point, maybe Caleb Williams, everyone's like, okay, yeah, he's a god. Well, actually, Caleb's not available, but let's talk about Trevor. And I know you're in a desperate spot, you know? So you have flexibility. I just want to say this to anyone's team, and we try and say this on many streams. At any point, you do not have to sell a player right now. It is January. We start playing fantasy football for real. Like, points start to matter in September. Okay? Mm-hmm. You do not have to make any move right now. And in fact, Jeff, you might want to hold off until the NFL draft anyway, because you and I know, but actually that draft picks gain value as we get closer to the NFL draft.
I mean, a lot of draft picks are about to rise up in the next couple of weeks after the Senior Bowl because a lot of these players are going to be rising after their performances and hype. So even as soon as next week is going to rise, and the Combine.
So you're in a great position because if people are telling you that the trades that we just suggested are unrealistic, great. Let's let Father Time do its work. And then when you're rocking up and Geno Smith is your quarterback, you're going to be like, oh, shit, yeah, you know what? I probably should have really considered that. Jeff says, I was thinking about the 102 and Waddle for Jefferson, Tank, and McCaffrey, but I'm planning on waiting until the draft. Love that. Yeah, that's a great idea, and I think you're on the same wavelength as us as far as waiting until the NFL draft to get that done. But, Aki, let's say the NFL draft comes, and you are in a position where it's like, hey, I actually just need to use these picks. At the 102, best player available. If Marvin's there, great. If not, that's fine. Let's go get Caleb Williams. Mm-hmm. At the 107, best player available. Is that a Dunze? Is that Brock Bowers? I imagine in this format where you have to start 2 tight ends, it's probably Rome Dunze available, right? Bowers probably doesn't last.
Rome, Bowers. I mean, if these other quarterbacks get the draft capital, how far does Malik Neighbor fall?
Sure.
Maybe six, maybe right on that edge there. Because you think of Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Caleb Williams, and then Bo Nix and JJ McCarthy. That's 5. That's the top 5 picks before Marvin Harrison, and then it's May, or sorry, then it's Malik. This is a tight end premium, by the way. So Brock Bowers could go higher. You actually have a chance to get Caleb Williams and Malik Neighbors. That's actually
I wouldn't bank on it though. I wouldn't bank on it.
That's no bullshit. Like, think about it.
I know, but you would have to get Penix, Nix, or McCarthy in the top 15 for that to be a potential.
Yeah, you just need 2 out of the 3, which I feel like is a high chance potentially, or even in the early second rounds.
Look, it's possible, but I think probably Neighbors will be gone. If he is, then obviously that's the best player available. But Odunze seems like a real option there. We could agree. At the 203, I would say Benson, Jonathan Brooks. Or the best available wide receivers. That Adonai Mitchell, Xavier Worthy, is it Ladd McConkey at that point? You got a lot of flexibility, and you built a monster of a squad. You really did. Now, if anyone out there is watching, if they care about our opinion, if you're going to do an 8-man league, I think this is the route that you should take. You should have some sort of crazy roster, fun premiums. You know, make it where like strategy really plays a big part. Because again, look at the starting roster. You have to start 2 tight ends. It's a double super flex, so you can start 3 quarterbacks. You're starting 13 total offensive pieces, right? I think if you're going to do an 8-man, that's how you make it really fun and interesting.
This is look fun, by the way. I really like this format.
Yeah, it looks fun. Hey. It kind of makes me want to revive the Dynasty ring.
The Dynasty with an
8-man. I think we could get 8 guys who care.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. It's already tough with 12.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Jeff says one guy controls first round. He has the 103, 105, 106, and the 108. He wants to do Neighbors, May, Daniels, and Franklin. So yeah, Odunze seems like a real option there, and even Bowers in this format. If Bowers is there at the 107, again, like. We always say draft best player available, not need. And the way your league is set up, there are so many teams that are going to be crawling to you for answers. This guy has to start Noah Fant. He has to start. No, he doesn't have a 3rd quarterback to start.
Who's that team?
Team 6 has to start Russell Wilson if he even gets an option. He has to start Dalton Schultz and Michael Mayer. Team 7 has to start Luke Musgrave and Deshaun Watson and Derek Carr at times. You have so many pieces. People will be crawling to you for answers. So you're in such a good spot. You really are.
Yeah, Team 3 is about to be a powerhouse. Team 3 is a team that's controlling the draft here. Justin Fields, Bryce Young. I mean, he's getting his quarterbacks in this draft.
Well, he just said that
he's getting Mays and Daniels.
Yeah, May and Daniels.
And then Neighbors. He has Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Nico, Jackson Smith. Neighbors looks like on his way. And Franklin, he really likes Troy Franklin. Shout out to Troy Franklin.
Yeah, we love Troy too. That's awesome. He said Team 3 won this year, which was Pete's team. So yeah, that was the team that won. Wow. With those quarterbacks. Kyron carried him for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. That's surprising to hear this is the team that won.
Well, Garrett Wilson, I mean, I guess Nico really took off. Chris Olave. The thing is,
Calvin really was great in the fantasy playoffs.
Everyone here was healthy. Trey McBride went off. Garrett Wilson was there. Chris Olave, Nico. I'm assuming, Kyron, Roscoe, Monty.
He wasn't last place until week 6, that guy. That's funny.
Health. That's health right there. 100%.
Yeah. But in summation, Badaki, let's sum this up, and then we'll see. And as we're doing this, Jeff, drop any questions you have in the chat. But in summation, you're in a very good spot, my friend. A very good spot. If we can wiggle the 102 into one of those package deals that we talked about, great. That's awesome. If not, take the best player available. Be patient. Time is on your side. And at the right time, there are plenty of teams in this league that are going to desperately need the pieces that you have on your roster. Hopefully with the 102, we talked about getting an elite running back plus. That's an option. like we said, at worst case scenario, you keep the picks, Caleb, Odunze, or whoever's there at the 203. You could go with Benson. You could go an Adonai and Xavier. One of those names, and a Lad McConkey. But Aki, we are not selling any of our quarterbacks.
No.
Leading up to the NFL draft. We're not selling any of these 3 tight ends leading up to the NFL draft. You might as well not sell likely anyway because you have Andrews.
Yeah, I would agree there. And Jeff, once again, use your fantasy hotline, brother. Send us a message when you get a trade. When you send a trade, you say, hey, is this good? Is this bad? Once you know the draft order, you use your picks and be like, should I go this or that? Use your fantasy hotline, take advantage. We appreciate all the support. Great team. Killing it.
You are absolutely killing it. And thank you so much for the support. Jeff says, thanks, guys. Helped me a lot. We are of the same opinion here. That's great to hear. I'm glad we're on the same page. But again, thank you so much for the support, man. Really, really appreciate you. Thanks for being a member. We are about to...
should we do a quick Q&A?
Yeah, I don't think we have time for any more today, guys.
Yeah, we can,
but don't worry.
Yeah.
We promised before we got on that we would do Fontenot's, Janja's, and Jeff's, and we did. And we told Styles and Blaze that we would get to theirs on the next stream.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid if you haven't. I don't know why you would be afraid. Like, oh no, what's going to happen?
We're going to be doing this a lot more often. So definitely stay tuned. No question about it.
But let's just tell people how they can get this for their team. If you want us to break down your team on a live stream, everyone gets one of their teams broken down when they become a Mother Flocker member on the Flock Fantasy website. When they use our promo code LAND, have to use our promo code LAND to have us review your team. I just put a link in the chat. It's a direct link to sign up if you'd like to. Keep in mind, when you're on the 7-day free trial, you're not eligible yet for a roster review. You have to have already made payment. There is an option when you sign up to hit instant access, so you can instantly access that if that's what you prefer. But not only do you get a Dynasty team review, which, by the way, when you sign up, you go to account, you link your Discord here at the top right. Once you do, you'll be able to see all of our premium Discord channels unlocked, including the roster submissions tab. So that is how you would do it. Because I know Jay Lynn live was saying, how do I get my roster submission? So again, have to be using our code. The other guys have team reviews as well if you use their code, but if you want us to do it, have to be using our code. And those are the steps in order to get the roster submissions tag unlocked. But when you become a Mother Flocker, you also get access to all the articles that we release. I just released one today, as well as all the databases. We released our 2024 Rookie Report version 1 back in December. Version 1 was awesome. We got a lot of feedback from people who really, really enjoyed it. And we are putting the finishing touches on version 2, which is releasing February 1st. We're very, very excited.
Literally grinded it out for you guys.
Very excited for people to see it. Scouted some of the tight ends. We'll be adding some of the tight ends in version 2, new features, more players that we have scouted. When you sign up, you also get our rankings. Again, you can go to filter here. You can add any sort of expert that you want. So you can see my rankings. You can see Badaki's rankings here. You can sort by expert consensus, by the community rankings. Overall, SuperFlex, one quarterback. You can look at prospect rankings on the website. If you're a Mother Flocker member, then when you look at our rankings on the website, you can also see, look at that, a little prospect report from the Land crew is available to you. It's not popping up right now, unfortunately. I might have to refresh, but you also get access to the trade calculator, the trade finder, which is a great tool if you're trying to find trades in your own league. Let's say you have Lamar Jackson, the other team has Pat Mahomes. If you want to see real trades that have happened for these two names across sleeper leagues, you'll see the exact format that they've happened in and the deals that have gone down to give you some sort of inspiration. So all that is available when you become a Mother Flocker member, as well as the Fantasy Hotline, direct DM to access us, as well as the Dynasty Trade Show. I mean, yeah, we're very proud of what we get to offer, and we're very grateful for the people who support us.
Yeah, all love, guys.
So that is it for today. We appreciate you. Ryan says, and now we wait. Can't wait to get some insight next week. We're excited to look at your team next week as well, man.
Yeah.
We really, really appreciate all of you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. This is the last day we're live. So, tell the people you love them. Do something nice for the people around you.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see you guys soon. All love.
Love.